I haven't done one for a while, so I thought I'd do a story. Um, this was around the year 2000, and me and my friends, Eddie Bate, Robert, Pete, Greg, Ratos, we used to go to a club in London called Camden Palace, and the night was called Peach, and I think it was the second Friday of every month. They used to have this night on called Peach, and it was all like big DJs, Pele, Pete Tong, Armand Van Helden, like people like that played there. It was a house night, trance. It was like house trance, and then there was a garage room upstairs. We used to drive in and park the car sort of just down the road from the club. And basically, the reason I found out about this club was I was working with this girl called Chris, and she was going out with a bloke called Martin, and he was best mates with a manager. So he used to get us in VIP, so we didn't queue up. We just walked straight in sometimes if we went with them. But if we didn't, we'd have to queue up. Peach Camden Palace was actually one of the doors that the fighter and gangster Lenny McLean used to run that door back in the day. So Camden Palace, it was like a big theatre, and it used to have speakers around the side, and on the speakers there used to be shelves, and I used to always end up standing on one of them shelves. And there was this Italian bloke that I've become good mates with called Lorenzo, and it was always me and him standing on this shelf together, just having it to the trance and the house music. There was one story once where I went up to we went up to the garage room, and there were sort of seats up there, and I sat down, and this Jamaican yardie come up to me, and he starts talking to me, and I'm talking to him, and all of a sudden he's just pulled out this big block of hash, snapped a bit off, and he gave it to me, and I was like, sweet, I'm not complaining. And then about half an hour later, there was a group of people come upstairs, and they were trying to look for their weed, and they'd lost their weed, and they're going, oh no, we've lost it, and I'm just I've looked, and I've gone, what's up? And they're like, oh, we've lost our weed, and I was like, broke off a bit of hash, I was like, there you go, and they were like, oh, thanks so much, mate. Do you know what I mean? I got it free anyway. One night when we went there, now Martin always told us not to park down a certain road, but our driver Pete, he decided that not to listen. He thought it'd be alright down this road, so he parked it down there. When we got back in the morning, when we come out the club in the morning, about 5 o'clock, we walked up to the car, and the window was smashed. And we'd all left our phones in the car, because you didn't really want to take your phones into the club, because you're jumping around and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Stuff falls out your pockets. Anyway, when we go back to the car, so we've noticed all our phones have been taken, but Pete had this really old Philips phone, and it was crap phone, literally it was horrendously crap, and they took all of everyone's phones apart from Pete, the one who owned the car. So he was alright, he was just annoyed about his window. Oh, and they took my hash, because I left a bit of hash in the car, because coming out of the club, you'd always want something to smoke as you come out, just to bring yourself down. It's crazy nights down there. We had some really good nights. I remember one night when Ratos was in the garage room, and he was dancing, and he was doing this weird, he was going like that, and it looked like he was wanking off the garage music, and we were just laughing our heads off at him, and then he was like, what are you laughing at me for? And we were like, because Ratos, you are dancing like a weirdo. We used to go down there religiously every month, and before we'd go, we'd always watch Human Traffic as well, and that got us all hyped up for the night. It's great. Camden Palace Peach, it was some good days they were. This is when obviously back in the late, say mid 90s, late 80s, pills were £10 a pop, £20 a pop sometimes, but when we were going clubbing, everything was cheaper, funny enough. It was 3 pills for a tenner. We used to get in a right pickle, not gonna lie. But we had a good time. We had a fantastic time. Yeah, like I went to a lot of places, Slamming Vinyl, One Nation, Best of British. There was another one, I can't think what it's called though. I went to Moondance as well. I went to a New Year's Eve Moondance. That was incredible. Saw a Rat Pack live up on stage. Yeah, absolutely mental times. Literally, when I used to go clubbing and raving a lot. That was, again, like I said, it was around the early 2000s, so like 23 years ago we're looking at. Around 20 to 23 years ago. That's showing my age now. I mean, I'm only 21 really, but you know, I've got a time machine. But now, yeah, Camden Palace. It's not there no more. It's shut down quite a few years ago. I'll tell you another little story actually. In Camden Palace, walking around, I look at this girl, yeah, this black girl, and I'm like, I know her from somewhere. I know that girl from somewhere. And then she walks up to me and she goes, I know you. She was 2 years older than me at Sir William Ramsay, and she was part of the staff at Camden Palace. So that was pretty weird. That happens a lot, you know. I go places like literally the other day. I went to a pub for something to eat with Chapman, and we sat there. We had something to eat, and then just as I'm walking out, there's a bloke sat at the bar. I kept looking over, and I recognised him. So I walked over. I was like, I know you, don't I, mate? And he was like, oh yeah, I know you. And it was someone I met in Aylesbury like a couple of years ago. Bumped into him again. I went to Bournemouth once with my kids, and we took them to the Bournemouth Aquarium. And just as we're walking towards the aquarium, I can hear some bloke shouting, Dugan, Dugan. And it was my mate Michael Checkworth that I used to work with at RGP. Again, like I worked with him 20 years. Like, so when was this? This was 2019. I went to Bournemouth with my kids. I was working with that bloke from 99, 2000, 2001, 2000 to 2003. So 99 to 2003. So last time I saw that guy was in 2003, and I bumped into him again in 2019 in Bournemouth. And it was a boiling hot day. There was hundreds, thousands of people down there. Like literally, it was completely ram out. But yeah, I do that a lot. I go out. It happened the other day. I was walking up Homer Green, and there was a car pulled up next to me, and it was full of Asians, Muslims, and one of them just looked directly at me and gone, "You alright, mate?" And I was looking at him like, what the hell? I walked over, start chatting to him. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh my god. Turns out, yeah, last time I saw this guy, yeah, this happened the other day. Last time I saw this Muslim brother, yeah, his name's Bills, was in 2008, and I just bumped into him the other day. It's just 15 years ago. That's what I mean. It's crazy. Like, you don't see people for time, and then all of a sudden they just pop out of nowhere. But yeah, so went to a lot of clubs, a lot of raves. Had a good time. Had a good time clubbing and raving. You know, you just used to. I think my first ever rave, proper. See, like when I say raving and clubbing, I mean these are proper events in proper clubs. You had to pay to get in. I'm not talking about free parties. I'm talking about, you know, like you had to buy a ticket. You know, like that sort of thing. But my first ever one was when I was about 15 years old. It was a kids rave called Evolution, and it was in Milton Keynes Sanctuary. That was a big place back in the day. The Sanctuary used to have things like Helter Skelter, Dreamscape, Fantasia, things like that there. I was blessed and privileged to go there because I was well into that music back then, and I actually got to go to that venue, and that was one of the biggest venues in Milton Keynes. It was one of the biggest venues in England, and it had some of the biggest raves there. So yeah, my days of clubbing at Milton Keynes, at Peach Camden Palace, Milton Keynes, and London. Loads of different ones in London, loads of different big clubs. But yeah, I had a great time. Yeah, like met loads of people, made loads of friends. Good times. But there you go. I just thought I'd just have a little chat about Camden Palace and that, and just tell you guys I haven't done a story for a while, so I just thought I'd say a few stories about what happened at Camden and the good times I had. the DJs I saw, the friends I made, the speaker that had the shelf on it, that was my speaker. I literally was always on that same shelf. And Lorenzo, this Italian guy, I haven't seen him since back in 2000, or 2001 I'd say was the last time I went to Peach. So yeah, I haven't seen this Lorenzo guy, but me and him were always on that speaker together, arms around each other, oi oi, having it. Yeah, they were the good old days. Like when they were dropping tracks like Zombie Nation and, you know, Sandstorm and, you know, Robert Miles' Children, like stuff like that, you know, all like sort of trancey stuff. But anyway, people, I hope you're having a blessed weekend. I hope you're all having a good time. I'm proper tired today. Weather's been a bit weird. I got a really good video of a rainbow earlier on. I did put it up on my YouTube on the shorts when I was walking Harry. I got this video. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to go because I'm going to go and get some dinner. So, peace, people. Love. Carry on tuning in. Thanks to all my new subscribers. I hope you're all enjoying the hip-hop stuff that I've been putting up. Thanks for my views. Thanks for my likes. And I'll see you guys soon, yeah? Take care.